Hello, 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 and welcome to the Premodern Buck Top 4. It is I, Team J-Bro, commentating along with the master of awesome deck building and the Boat Brew King himself, BK, all the
They don't
way.
they don't know about Boat Brew. They only know about Angel Deck that I made,
If you don't know, you better ask somebody.
but which was old news. But I fixed it. I fixed Angels. That's what I did.
Absolutely.
That was my gift to the pre-modern community.
Well, I'll say this. Brian Kowal is one of the sharpest minds in Magic, and we are honored to have him here. An amazing deck designer and Magic card refiner. So we're going to get right into it. We've got a Noughty Hermit deck list in front of us, and this is probably the best pre-modern deck I've ever seen, and something that makes my dreams so happy.
You think?
I can't even like begin to describe how wonderful this deck is.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece. Honestly, this is Flint Espil's baby that he brought to LobsterCon, and it's got some stuff going on.
He came to
It can
LobsterCon to get it on.
it can get it's gonna kill your hand with 4 duress and 4 Cabal therapy, and then it can get you a couple ways. And you don't know which way he's gonna do it.
Wait, are there four Cabal therapies?
Oh
Can we
yeah.
get the deck
Oh wait, no,
list?
there's one Cabal therapy. There's only one.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
the other three black cards, man, the other three black cards right there, I cannot read because it's so small.
Yeah, let's pull that deck list up in the chat,
This quality.
and we will be able to go over it. I
Okay.
thought to mention that before we started, but I probably didn't because I'm on no sleep and lots of kids. So, I yeah, but that's not big enough. We need the deck list.
Yeah, we
Um,
can't actually see
do
it.
you just want to pop that in the group chat and we will
Here, let me.
pull it up?
Okay,
So,
I got it.
yeah, so we've got basically a mana base with four Lotus Petals, four City of Brass, four Gemstone Mines, and 12 Pain Lands that will
Shoot, maybe we can.
pretty much cast whatever's here. You've got the Dreadnought combo with four Dreadnoughts, four Stifles, and two of the Charms. You've got Druid, which Hermit Druid is a masterpiece. This card used to wreck house. This
Yeah.
is. Go ahead.
Oh no, you. Yeah. What did it used to do, and then I'll tell you what it's doing here.
Well, back in my day, before EDH, we had five color 250, and let me
Whoa.
tell you, Hermit
ED,
Druid did work.
well, this deck, Hermit Druid, if he's activating Hermit Druid again at the end of your turn, you are probably not getting another turn. That's the way
Can you
that
elaborate
works.
on that?
So the first mode of this deck is, well, one of the modes of this deck is activate Hermit Druid. There are no basic lands in this entire deck. The entire deck is going to go into the graveyard. Then he's going to untap. Um, Untap, he's going to cast Corrosive Reclamation from his graveyard, put 2 Reanimates into his deck. So his deck consists of exactly 2 Reanimates. Then he's going to untap. He's going to Cabal Therapy, sacrificing his Drain Hermit. And then he's going to reanimate his Sturtard Ghoul and exile his Dreadnoughts, create a gigantic Sturtard, which will then take the Dragon's Breath from his graveyard, put it onto the Sturtard, attack you for lethal, plus some more, and kill you.
And that can happen pretty quickly because we've also got four Lotus Petals and an Elvish Spirit Guide. So,
Oh yeah, he can turn to you,
yep, this is a turn two
right?
legit deck. Plus, not only
Turn
that,
two is pretty unlikely.
it's definitely possible though. And not only that, this also has four Dreadnoughts and, six Dreadnought Stifling effects. So it can also just take that line of attack
Yep.
and get a 12/12 Trampler out. And that's actually not that hard. And on top of that, it's also running four Reanimates. Is that Shallow Grave? Like it's just got
Oh yeah.
so much
If
going on.
if you kill his Hermit Druid, he can Shallow Grave it and then go off.
That's right, absolutely. And that or reanimate it. It's a deck with a surprising amount of resiliency,
Mhm.
a good amount of disruption, a good amount of eruption, and a critical mass of threat density. Because even if the dreadnought plan goes awry, there's still another plan out there. And then even if that plan goes awry, you can still just reanimate and stifle your dreadnought theoretically. So there's a lot going on here. I love this deck. This is the best pre-modern deck in my eyes I've seen so far. This makes me really happy to be a Magic player. I love the creativity. I love the format. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Let's also just quickly go over the sideboard. And again, we should get that link. For if Mike can pop the link to the
I
group chat, that would
I
be
can read it off for you here if you want.
okay. Thanks. My eyes aren't what they used
I
to
got
be.
here's what I got here. One Flaring Pain, which is a damage prevention stopper. One Corrosive Reclamation, extra copy of that. Two Rave Revelations, which is the ancient grudge of enchantments. If you play those newer cards, it's gonna kill an enchantment, flash it back to kill an enchantment. But
Mhm.
he's pretty much just flashing it back. One Uktabi Orangutan, three Exhumes, one Surtured Ghoul, the fourth Shallow Grave, the third Vision Charm, three Sylvan Safekeepers, which I think is like the coolest card in his entire sideboard, and finally one Cabal Therapy.
Let's talk about that Sylvan Safekeeper a little bit.
All right, well, when I played against Flint at the event, this is how he got me. He went turn one Safekeeper, turn two Hermit Druid, and then even though I had Fire Ice in my hand, it didn't matter. He still killed me.
Because Sylvan Safekeeper doesn't actually require mana to activate. It doesn't require any mana, it just requires lands, right?
Right, yeah.
So you can
You
be
just
tapped out, plop that bad boy down, and it is doing work from jump.
Old Uli Rod. He's gonna get you.
That's right. Well, let's go on to the next. All right, and we also have Mike Flores's Replenish deck, a blue-white masterpiece. This is a little bit more on the beaten path. This is something we're all well familiar with. By far one of the most powerful decks of its time. Brian,
But
what can you tell
not a
us?
real popular in pre-modern. Popular deck in pre-modern.
Interesting. Why is that?
Um, I think it might part of it might be cost. Replenishes are not
Ah,
cheap. Blesses not cheap. I don't know, like intuition's not cheap. But although like intuition was like kind of Mike's baby for this deck, like most of the replenish decks out there don't run that card. Um, Story behind this deck, Mike was dead set on playing red white astral slide all the way up until um the 2 days before the tournament, and then he like basically had a text exchange where he's like, "Hey BK, is Parallax Tide plus Seal of Cleansing just an Armageddon now, one sided?" And I'm like, "Yes." It's like, oh,
literal.
oh, that's nice. Literally did not even know the combo existed 2 days before playing this deck. Um, yeah, that is just like, how do people not play Replenish? And I'm like, I don't know, it's expensive. It should be insane though. Told him like, and then I'm like, Parallax Wave is also crazy, and he's like, oh yeah, yeah, of course, But he wasn't even aware. I don't think he knew what that combo part of it was either. So like, I explained that part to him too, and like next thing you know, he's like, okay, well, we got to build Replenish.
He was like, wow, it's even better.
Yeah, so this is what he threw together the next day, and it's got some great lines and some great like he solved like so one problem with this deck is it's a little on the slower side. It's
Hmm.
forecasting how sorcery you have to resolve to really go off.
Hmm.
But he came up with one he played six lands that all produce 2 mana
So you got
for
two
Ancient
City of
Tombs and
Traders,
two
four
City of
Ancient
Traders,
Tombs.
and two he put like an intuition engine in. And the idea behind that is basically if he could get solitary confinement into play, he just from looking at so many of the deck lists, he knew that a lot of decks just could not beat that card game one, including any version of mono red, like goblins, Sly, all those, like they cannot beat it game one.
Hmm.
So yeah, all he has to do is get that solitary confinement into play and a squee, and he can't lose the game because he just decks them. Um, yeah, then from there, like the rest of the deck is like kind of standard replenish fare, but Frantic Searches he also had in order to like boost his mana. He could use the Frantic Searches plus his soul lands to power stuff out a turn faster than you normally would be able to.
Yeah. Okay. And is there anything in here that we should really be pointing out? There's a couple things in the sideboard I'd like to point out. So this is pretty. If you've seen you know, kind of your opalescence replenish deck, this is this is more or less par for the course with a couple exceptions. You got the attunements and the parallax tides, etc. But
Mhm.
in the sideboard, we have a mana short, which, much like abeyance, is probably pretty self-evident, right?
Mhm.
It's allowing you to go off. We've also got factor fiction, which
Yeah.
is pretty good.
Yeah, he had a lot of nice weapons for the control fight.
Right.
You
In
also
fact,
see that do you see the single copy of Thawing Glaciers
I
up there?
do. That was I saved the best for
Oh,
last.
okay,
My
okay, okay.
favorite.
Sorry, I've swelled it.
That's okay. Thawing Glaciers. There was no one who's been pushing Thawing Glaciers more in Premodern than me. You know that. And I'm so happy to see it in the 75.
Yeah,
I
Mike, the morning of that event, he showed me that card. He's like, "I'm going to show you a card and tell me if any control that can beat it." That's the card he
That's
showed me,
right.
and I'm like, "No, they can't."
That's what I said. All right, so this is a great deck, and we got two pretty heavy hitters going at it. One of the most powerful decks of its time, the Replenish Opalescence Attunement deck, versus one of the most unique decks of all time. I am putting my money on the Hermit Druid deck just because it's got so many angles and goes off so quickly. But I am excited to see this matchup. BK, any predictions?
uh, it's I already know what's going to happen.
You do?
I was
I thought we were
there.
supposed to go into this without knowing.
I
Oh,
was
you were
there.
there. Oh yeah. BK is one of the commentators who's actually there. Okay, never mind. All right. Well, all right. On to the next. On
I
to
will
round
I
one.
reveal nothing.
I forgot that you were physically there. That's right. Because the other guy didn't know.
the four advances the four abeyance in his board are really cool in this matchup.
Yeah.
Like for example, let's pretend you play a Phyrexian Dreadnought and I have abeyance in my hand.
Oh, so good. All right, and we are here for the beginning of the top four of LobsterCon for the pre-modern Buck. We got the Mike Flores Replenish deck on the draw against Flint's Naughty Hermit. Like
Flint is
Naughty
opening with a duress on Mike right out the gate. He's taken a careful study from him.
Pretty good. And Mike, being a good guy, leaving the revealed cards revealed so that Flint
Yeah,
doesn't have to write them down. Like it.
there it was widely agreed at the event that the don't be a dick rule of this magic tournament involved you had you leave your cards up, otherwise
Oh,
you are
oh my.
you know.
Danger. We
Oh,
have we have a hermit. It's on the table. Turn 2. And there is no source of plowshares. That's game. Turn 3 kill. Just a little bit faster than Flores could keep up with. If Flores was on the play and he had one of his 2-mana lands that produce 2 mana, like the Ancient Tomb, he might have stood a chance. Or if he had a source of plowshares. But he is going to lose. Oh no, I guess he could still swords technically, right? He could still have the
well,
swords after all
Flint
this goes down,
Flint doesn't kill
theoretically.
him yet. Oh, he might kill him now, I guess.
Okay. Oh, he's he's
Duress him
even got
again.
another duress to double check. Okay, so he's getting the
Oh,
card that uh it doesn't
solitary
matter.
confinement in his hand.
It doesn't matter. It's game. It doesn't matter.
He takes solitary confinement. Mike draws, plays a land. Flint is going to activate that Hermit Druid at the end of Mike's turn. Mike's
Basically
going to
gets I
checks
get
the stacked graveyard out.
well, the one interesting thing here is he gets to look through the whole deck and probably can still do nothing about it.
Yeah, it
Like,
was not open decklist at this event, so this is actually this is the second time they played this event though. They also played the Swiss
oh, did
around
they?
round
Okay.
4 or 5.
Who won in that?
Mike,
Okay.
yeah, 3.
Okay. So whole graveyard goes to the bin. Upkeep. Gonna put 2 cards back in using that whatever that card's called, the one of. Whatever that green card
Yep.
is. Alright, so what is he what gets shuffled in here?
2 reanimates.
So we're going to go to our draw step, draw reanimate,
It's gonna cast
and
reanimate.
making sure there's nothing over there. He has complete
Uh,
information, full knowledge.
well, there's an intuition that could be played.
True.
But
So Cabal Therapying
yep, Cabal Therapy here.
is make sure the coast is clear. There's one Cabal Therapy main deck for exactly this reason. Getting the intuition. Okay, intuition's not even being cast. All right, using last mana for, or using her one of his last mana to get back the hasty tasty, and that is it. Turn 3 kill,
Yeah, there
or
it is.
turn 4, turn 4 kill,
Yeah.
turn 4 for the top 4. Okay, so let us go into the sideboard.
Okay, so here's Flint's deck. In his sideboard, he things I think he's what do you think he's most worried about here? Probably a faster combo from Mike, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Well, I think probably if he's already played against him, he might also be worried about those swords to plowshares, a little bit of relevant interaction.
yeah, he doesn't have that many swords in his main deck though, does he? Like, I don't
No,
think he has a full set of 4.
but he's got the full set 4 after the sideboard, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So he
Uh,
might think about those 1/1s for one. Um,
might be worried about bans.
right, right. Let's see. He might actually. It might be. It might be. It might be worth it to pop in that other Cabal Therapy.
Yeah, I like that for sure.
Yeah. So, and then what's that? Let's see.
He might probably brings in the 2 copies of enchantment removal, right?
Right.
The
Right. With a flashback. Yeah.
that flashback card. Sorry. Um, real professional. Um, the of course the card we're talking about is Ray of Revelation. A favorite of
Yes.
Flint's.
There we go. Okay, got him up here. Ray of Revelation. Okay, and then we
He
don't want the Suture Ghoul. Second, we don't want the Shallow Grave. Probably not Vision Charm. And probably not Flaring Pain.
probably not Exhume, right? Flaring
Right.
Pain can get through a solitary confinement.
True. True, true. That's a good point. Okay. Yeah, I like the Sylvan Safekeepers and the Cabal Therapy. And maybe the Ray of Revelations. Okay. All right. That sounds good. Let's pop over to
Because he can deck him if he can just stop him from going off 2 turns in a row.
right. Right. That's right. And that's actually a really good line because that way although the tough part is the Cabal Therapy, right?
Yes, for sure.
But yes, that with enough disruption, do we think about the counter spells? Probably not, right?
Maybe I
Maybe on
don't.
the play.
I could see it.
Hmm.
Like he could just turn into like a control deck, but he still has to be able to win, right?
Right, right.
Right.
Although he like, but that's kind of the thing, right? Like, as long as there's enough disruption, there is inevitability with this replenish deck, right?
Yes.
So you can kind of break up some of your other you can mess around with this a bit and have kind of a transformative sideboard if you want. But maybe 6 of plan. All right, so we're definitely bringing STPs, probably the abeyances, but I'm not sure how much deeper Flores wants to go. Okay,
You
that
probably take
sounds
confinement out. It's not going to do anything. If Flint has a Ray of Revelation in his deck, he could just kill it.
yeah, true
Um,
story.
so that's probably coming out. I think the squeeze are probably coming out. I don't see him doing a ton here because they're basically an engine to make the confinement work. So that's like 4
Hmm.
cards right there. Um, Parallax Tide doesn't like super excite me against him, but maybe it's better than I think.
No, I agree with you. In this matchup, it's way too
Yeah,
slow, and it's
Par-
also
yeah,
not super relevant because there is Lotus Petals, there's a land off the top, and they don't, and that deck doesn't need a lot of land
yeah.
to operate.
He gets 1 Parallax Wave down. It's like plenty of time for him, right? He can just sit there
Right.
forever.
Parallax Wave is dope in
Yeah,
this matchup.
it's like 5 turns before Flint's able to do any part of his combo.
And it works well against the 1/1.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Let us go to game number 2.
I think we cracked that one.
Yep. That's what's cracking. All right, and we are back for game number 2. Oh my, we're right into it. Okay,
Yeah, hey, you got to keep your intro shorter because we got a Dreadnought turn 1 here.
there's a 12-12 turn 1. I was not ready for that. I don't think Flores was either. It does not look like there's a Swords to Plowshares handy. Hachi Machi. Station Tachi.
No
It's already
swords ready.
wait, it's already swinging.
Pass the
What's going on?
turn. Time for 12. He's taking 12.
Oh, things
It's an 8.
are looking rough. We need an answer, Mike. Okay, there's 4
All
mana.
right.
Oh, okay. There's 5
Back
mana.
search.
Oh!
Mike can easily get out of this. No. Wow.
And
Just
that is
all the
how the
Landos.
Hachimachis. Okay. Well,
All right.
that was
Well,
unfortunate, but
it was
again,
great
that
covering this match for you, and I'm glad we can spend the 6 minutes with everybody.
Zzz. Well, that's the that's the point of it, right? It's like it has so many lines of attack and there's so much you got to watch out for that
Including
even
Here's My 12-12.
right, it do be that way sometime though.
That's how
All
you
right.
clear out a bands right there.
Well, it's a pleasure casting for you.